How do you feel about your run defense going up against Jonathan Taylor and the strides they've made the last couple of games before the bye week?
Yeah, I think Indy has a really, really good run offense. You know, the back is really good. The O line has done a good job for him. You can tell a very explosive player. If you're not where you need to be and in the right fit, you know, this guy can take it to the house in a heartbeat. So we have to be very disciplined in our run defense. Everybody has to be disciplined in the proper gaps. Everybody has to swarm and tackle, you know, because this guy he's very tough to get down. A really good player, respect him. Him and number 21. Both of those guys are very good players. So we have our work cut out for us this week when it comes to the run game. You know, we're up for the challenge for sure.
How would you describe Josh Norman's personality?
Yeah, Josh. I think Josh's personality. He's a quiet guy. You know, he doesn't say much, but he's a true pro. That's one thing I like about Josh is I just love veterans who can come in and can take young guys under their wing. That means a lot to me. That's how I was brought up in the league, and that's how the league just progresses. You learn from the vets, and it's the vets' duty to teach the younger guys, and that's how guys did it for me coming in, and that's what I still see going on, which is cool to see even to this day. Is our veteran guys coming in, no matter when they get here, like taking that leadership role. And Josh has done a great job of that. But he's a quiet guy. He speaks when he needs to speak, and he's intense out on the field. Plays with a high level of energy. So I like Josh. Really, I mean, happy we're able to get him and get a veteran who's done it for a while in his league at a high level. So happy we were able to get him when we did.
You guys have talked a lot about obviously trying to get more takeaways, and I know you've had a lot of fumbles that have come out. Maybe you just haven't been able to fall on. When you went back and looked over the bye week, how close are you maybe getting more and then tide turning on that front?
Yeah, I mean the turnovers is definitely an issue where we have to get more turnovers. We have to take it away to give our offense the ball, and that's our goal every time we go out. But just looking at it, I mean, guys that we're attacking the ball. You know, you watch Fred, you watch Josh, you have Dante the last time out versus Arizona. Like guys are attacking the ball. The ball is coming out. Just hasn't fell our way yet. But we're going to keep plugging away. We're going to keep attacking the ball. We're going to keep, as much as we can. Guys just keep talking about it, keep putting emphasis on it. That's not going to change every week, every day. Our emphasis on the ball just has to happen. And I feel like it just takes one game when it turns your way. It just takes one game, and we need that very soon for our guys. But guys have been working hard at it in practice, emphasizing it in practice, getting it done in practice, getting the ball out in practice. Now just need to keep doing what they've been doing with the mindset of the ball, and then it'll come our way soon.
You see a potential rain game as a way of kind of starting that, turning the tide on that, so to speak.
Whatever it takes. If it takes the rain for us to get the ball, whatever it takes, I'll be fired up, But everybody's been talking about the rain and everything. It's one of those things that if it happens, it happens. But of course, the ball becomes a more of an issue in the rain when it comes to handling it from the offensive perspective. Ball carriers, it's more conscious, and the ball does get loose more in the rain. So. Rain or no rain, though, we got to get it out. But the rain may help us a little bit.
When he started here, a lot was put on his plate, and then the next season, things were kind of taken off of his plate so he could play faster. He kind of thrived in that. I think more things are his responsibility now. Where do you see his role? I mean, how would you define it in comparison to the previous seasons?
Yeah, I think Fred's role, it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed much. He still has the same amount of responsibility that he's always had when it comes to just being that quarterback of the defense, just getting the calls, getting our guys set and lined up. That hasn't changed. And Fred's one thing that, that's been great about Fred is he's a great communicator, and he does a really great job of communicating. But he has the same. He can get it. He can get that done, the communication part of it, and he can go play at a high level. So I don't see anything where it's changed for him. He's able to handle it, and he's able to do it at a high level, and he's been doing a really good job of it.
You guys are going to be facing Carson Wentz, who may not be as the stature of an Aaron Rodgers or a Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray this year, but he did a good number on this team in Week 4 last year. So you gone back and looked at film like that and just kind of reminded guys not to underestimate him?
Yeah, we never underestimate anyone, and definitely not Carson. This guy's a big time playmaker. He can make all the throws on the field. He's very, very elusive in the pocket. It's very hard to get him down. He has an uncanny ability to kind of stay alive, keep plays alive, and still fire it downfield. So, we have our work cut out for us with Carson. We're not underestimate him at all. I really respect his game, respect what he's been through in his league and bounce back and being able to go there to Indy and really continue to perform at a high level. But he's definitely a playmaker in his league that we're conscious of.
Samson is not on the injury report this week. Does he look, more explosive? Does he look different than he did when he was sort of struggling with that hamstring early on?
Yeah, Samson has looked fine in practice. I think the explosion, everything is back. I think he's feeling the bye week, did him well. So I think he looked explosive to me in practice, and he'll be fine to go.
What does do right longer mean to you?
Yeah, do right longer. It just means just doing your job, whether it's the first play or it's second quarter, it's the third quarter, it's the fourth quarter, game is on the line. Like, you don't change. Do right longer means to me is just being consistent from the start of the game to the finish. Like, it's no ups and downs. It's just being even keel, doing your job, doing it at a high level every play that you're out there. And whether that's 60 plays, like, can you do right for those 60 plays? And it's more of a mindset and a mental strain of guys just being able to lock in for the entire game, do it right, even when it's boring, doing it right. Even when you do it great, come back and do it again. Like, you're going to have to consistently just do your job in this league. And that's the thing that doesn't change. No matter where you are, which offense, defense, special teams, it's about owning the fundamentals and techniques of your job, like consistently down in and down out. And a team that can do that the longest, those are the teams who prevail and win on Sundays. The teams that do right long is just doing your job, being consistent.
You're very familiar with DeForest Buckner, of course. When you're watching film of the Colts, you're probably watching offense. But have you kind of peeped out what he's been doing this year and since he's been with the Colts?
Yeah, I've seen Buck. He's still a big-time playmaker. He's still wrecking offenses. Buck was miss Buck. Buck was instrumental part to his organization. He was a leader, first and foremost leader. That's on and off the field. The way Buckner just, the guys gravitated to Buckner. You miss him. He's such a great guy, and he's a great player as well. Buckner is he's still big time playmaker, making plays, getting the ball out for the Colts, and I know they really appreciate him, and we appreciate him, and we love him. Still love Buck. Wish we had him, but Buck is doing great, and he'll do great for a long time. Really, really great player. But the thing that stuck out to me about Buck is just his dedication off season. Right, whether it's off season, he was the guy that's here working. Right, in season, he's always working, always bringing other guys along with him. So definitely miss him.
How does Nick Bosa prepare each week, like in terms of film room or meetings? I mean, we can see what he does on the field, and obviously he's in shape and stuff. But
Yeah.
what does he do to prepare?
Yeah, when it comes to Nick, it's just all those guys in the room. Nick, getting in there with Coach Kaseric. Kaseric does a great job with those guys of breaking down our opposing offensive linemen and really doing a great study of who they're going against. So, he gets in with Kaseric and does a really good job of studying the tackle that he's going against and understanding how they're going to try to block him and just detailing it out to a point that when he lines up on Sunday, he knows exactly how a guy's going to block him and he knows what moves he can make. And the thing about Bosa is if something changes, he's such an instinctive player. If it's not that way, he's very quick to change and react to whatever he's given. So it's a very gifted athlete, first and foremost, but he's also a very smart athlete as well, a smart pass rusher. All right. Thank you, guys.
game day yet? I wish it was right now. We've I can tell you this much: our entire team is ready to play football again. We've had about a month of sour tastes in our mouths, so we're all pretty eager to get on the field and play our way through this. And I desperately wish you guys would have told me it's Sunday afternoon right now, because it seems like a long time, but it'll be here shortly. What you guys got?
In terms of third down, we always hear that it's hard for a rookie to learn to become a good player on third downs. What is it exactly that makes that role so hard for rookies to attain?
Well, it's the hardest part of football because the simplest way I can put it is there's less stress on the defense because you're pretty much exclusive, barring a run here or there. You are pass exclusive. They know that what you're about to do, so that they can put all their eggs in one basket in one way, shape, or form. It happens fast. There's a lot more moving parts. There's tighter coverage, and the timing of things can change. It's more exotic. But all of that being said, what it really boils down to is that you're in a pass exclusive situation, so things are more aggressive, and the room for error is less and less. The out of the huddle, the defensive line, linebackers, and whoever's blitzing is trying to sack the quarterback. That's not always the case on first and second down, because when you're trying to sack the quarterback, you might leave yourself vulnerable for a run or a play action or whatever.
Your rookies close? Do you like the progress that they're making?
Definitely.
As far as that role?
Definitely. There's all of our rookies that are playing offensively right now are much better than when we started, and they have that's when you're very happy about young players. You'd always love to not play rookies immediately because of the learning curve, and especially in today's game, there's a drastic difference between college and the NFL. But when they do play, you don't want them to, like I've said before, repeat mistakes. And guys are, whether it's a running back, quarterback, whomever, guys are getting better every time they play, and that's a good thing for the 49ers.
Guys, you, Kyle, since you've been together, have generally had success running the ball, like Mike McDaniel, maybe Robert Griffin, Alfred Morris, or Coleman and Freeman, or whatever. But I think because of injuries, it hasn't really worked out where you can have a committee approach. But do you have to figure out, if Sermon can, share the load with Mitchell, or in order to have an effective run game for the rest of the season?
Yeah, we have to have really good play from our entire offense, including our running backs, to run the ball well and improve the rest of the season. You don't have to have a running back by committee necessarily. We've done it every way, shape, or form. It's really with Coach Shanahan and Bobby Turner that they love when someone puts them in a situation where, hey, we can't take this guy out. That's happened plenty of times. What were Raheem Mostert's attempts a couple of years ago? Shooting the divisional playoff game, he might have had a handful of carries, and then, once you make plays on the field, we're not stubborn. We're not going to take you off of it. So to answer your question, you don't have to, but this game is hard. It's very physical, and it is a positive for the offense, for the guy carrying the ball to be as fresh as possible. So it always helps to have a running back by committee in general, but we're not really looking at it that way. We're looking at the rotate guys, and then when you see stuff that you're like, hey, wow, that was a good run. Coach Turner has an unbelievable feel for that. He's been doing it a long time, and he's not going to take that guy out if he's got a hot hand, you know? So that's why it can kind of vary from week to week, because you're seeing things most of the time it's not because one person isn't doing well. It's because, hey, we want to give this guy the ball more.
Question about Trey Sermon this season, but I mean, he only had the one carry against Cardinals, so Trey was a big part of the game plan of running. But again, same question you've been asked, but kind of where is he in his development?
No, he hasn't taken a step back since we've been talking about it at the beginning of the season when Elijah Mitchell got reps over him. He hasn't taken one step back. He's only gotten better. That was not by design going into that game. It was more, you know, you have anxiety with a running back in particular when you're going on game day and a guy hasn't been hit for a couple weeks. They're responsible for the ball for the entire offense and the team. So if they fumble it, or so we didn't really know. You feel good about Elijah in practice, but you don't know until you know. And once he got on the field in his opportunities, there's things from a coaching staff perspective like, wow, that was good. Oh, okay, he's feeling it. Okay, then all of a sudden, you know, we're playing. We have a couple packages where Kyle Juszczyk is the running back, so that takes reps off. And then so it wasn't by design. It wasn't any sort of regression. It was more because when we got into the game with their different defensive looks, there was some small holes that Elijah made a little bit bigger. And so we just kept giving him opportunities, and that's the way we've kind of always operated. I always want to give guys ops, but hey, don't kill a hot hand.
How did Jalen Moore do when he got that little extended look against Seattle a couple weeks ago? And what would you say is his kind of state of readiness if he has to play?
He's ready to play NFL football, and what's great about Jalen is the human being is built to be a very good player in the NFL for a long time. What I mean by that is that the game's not too big for him, and he learns from things that happen. He was very productive. The reason why you know that is because anytime with offensive linemen, if you're not talking about him, it's probably a good thing. So I wouldn't say he's very exciting to a lot of guys, including his rest of his position group. All the players, Trent Williams and all the guys, they really love the guy because they know he has what it takes to be a pro in this league, and he keeps getting better. We didn't have to do anything from a schematic standpoint that game, which is a huge plus as a rookie playing tackle. So everyone's very confident with him on the field and however many snaps he gets week in, week out.
Like when it comes to this week's game plan, without getting too into detail, but with Buckner and Darius Leonard up the middle there, how important is it for you guys to be able to run around the edge?
Yeah, it's important for guys to block those two players in particular and be between them and the ball, because they're two of the best players at their respective positions in the league. Tremendous respect for both players. Both players can really ruin your game, and both players they're both people that you have to know where they're at, and your players have to kind of make plays when they're in their vicinity, because you can't they're going to find a way around the ball somehow, some way. So you need to make sure your guys got their mind right for that, knowing that they will meet them. We'll do our best to make sure they're blocked, but when they aren't blocked, make sure you protect the ball and do your best to strain, because they are the real deal.
Run away from them easily?
No, that's not really how that would be awesome. I think that would be it'd be a tough game plan to kind of produce, because they have different calls and they align differently. But but also they're in the middle of the defense. So they know that the Indianapolis Colts know they have good players, so they make sure that they can get around the ball, and you have to take your good players and block them to the best of your ability.
Buckner, after all the years playing and practicing against him, help you at all in your game planning?
Helps me have anxiety. No, I'm sure that is the case. Familiarity is always comforting. And I mean, Buck is a great teammate. A guy we all love, and his game has continued to progress. So I'm not sure anything totally prepares you for, they're in a different system that emphasizes a couple different things than we do. So but really honestly, you're just like, hey, we know firsthand how he can wreck a drive or a scoring opportunity or whatever. So you do not take him lightly because of that.
Injuries that they have on the secondary, you've already got your game plan set now. As it progresses throughout the week, they've got a lot of injuries there. Does it change at all? Do you adjust? Do you take that into consideration?
You're always thinking about matchups, but at the same time, just like us, the Colts have depth on their defense. They get paid too. Their personnel department does a great job. So although a backup might be in, the vast difference between the backup and the guy in front of him isn't grave enough to all of a sudden tweak your whole game plan. They do a good job to play team defense, much in the way that we try to do here with the 49ers. So a single injury doesn't affect them as much as a lot of teams, because they are a team that plays with effort, that swarms the ball and tries to collectively handle things. There's a lot of guys that have a lot of tackles, and when you watch them play, you see a lot of guys swarming around the ball. So defenses like that, it's more difficult to all of a sudden pinpoint a different direction in your game plan because of one injury.
On the Colts injury list this week, but it seemed like during the 2019 Senior Bowl that Rock Ya-Sin played really well, and he had some good matchups against Debo that week. I'm just wondering, if you look back to that draft that year, whether those encounters that he had with Ya-Sin kind of factored into your evaluation of him, seeing him going up against a cornerback.
A little. I think both of what's funny about that is I'm pretty sure both guys in their memory think that they got the best of one another that week. That they both have confidence, and they like to talk, and they're competitors. But realistically, you're looking at a guy that's learning a playbook for a couple weeks live. You know what he looks like and how he feels, but to be more comfortable with who that player is a couple of years later, it doesn't apply that much. We just know they're going to be talking to each other and probably settling some grudges from one-on-ones in Mobile.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Have fun, guys. Sunday.
Daniel just was in here, obviously, talking about how he wishes today was Sunday night. Do you kind of have that same feeling like you wish it was already game day?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we put the work in this week. He's just ready to go out there and showcase it in front of the world, and we definitely want to get a win.
Tough after having 3 losses.
Yeah, it's definitely tough, but we're definitely ready to go out there and showcase it in front of the world.
How would you describe Josh Norman's personality?
Yeah. He's actually pretty funny, man. You know, when I was younger, I'm from North Carolina, so I grew up a Carolina Panthers fan. And I knew the Josh Norman that used to talk trash on the on the field. So I thought he was like an aggressive guy, a mean guy. And then when he came here, I'm like, yo, this dude is actually just funny, you know. And so I was very surprised, but glad to have him as a teammate.
Can you provide an example of his humor or how he's funny?
You got to get him up here to do it, man. It's one of a kind, you know. I can't do it.
What about him just as a veteran
Yeah.
presence? What has he brought, I guess, to the locker room or that position group?
Yeah, it's big. I mean, he's been in the game. I believe it's maybe his 10th year. You know, so he's seen it all. Kind of like that Richard Sherman aspect. You know, just leading the younger guys, leading me. He's been a great leader for the team. Everyone loves him, and like you say, we're glad to have him around.
Is it also similar to Richard Sherman, where you thought he might have been someone else, and you meet him in the locker room and he's completely different?
Oh, for sure. Definitely Sherm, because I thought Sherm was very mean, you know, prior to coming. But then I came here, and he was just the goofiest guy that's been around. So.
Did they take you a game or two to get like totally comfortable, or when you came back, did you feel fully healthy?
Yeah, no, I think I was fully healthy. Shout out to the shrimp staff and the medical staff. They did a good job of keeping me right on the side. So when I came back in, I felt fresh and I felt pretty good.
All you guys have been talking about the need to get more turnovers. How close do you feel you guys are to kind of having a breakthrough in that regard?
I think we're very close. Turnovers, they come in bunches. So we got one the last time we played. Shout out to Dante Johnson. And they say when they come in bunches. So we're definitely looking forward to getting some more this weekend.
The pass rush tied to the coverage.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of relationship do you have with Nick Bosa? And what do you tell Bosa going? What do you see him going into games? He's got his 5 sacks this year, but what do you see from him, and what's the relationship like?
Oh, we got a great relationship, man. We actually got a handshake. I think I'm the only one in the defense room that got a handshake with him. Don't quote me on it, though. But with Bosa, during the game day, I just let him do his thing. I try to stay out his way because I know what he's going to do up front.
How did the handshake come about?
I don't know. One day we was just in practice, and I was dapping everybody up, and he was like, we don't got one. So then we just did one, and it's stuck ever since. I think about 2 years ago.
You have different handshakes with different guys?
Yeah.
What's your favorite handshake?
Oh, man, probably got to be KK's. You could actually go look at film. They got film of KK and I doing one. It's pretty cool.
Have him back in the lineup.
How nice.
How do you remember all the handshake for each specific person?
Oh man, it's almost just like plays, We got so many plays, and it's just a handshake. You're gonna remember it. But having KK in the lineup is major. Ever since KK came in the league, he's been playing phenomenal ball. So him on the field, he makes an impact. It's the reason why we call him the Shark. He just go out there and do his thing, and it benefits the team.
Leave Nick Bosa alone on game days.
Mm-hmm.
What is his vibe like in the defensive huddle, on the sidelines?
Man, Bosa is very chill. Like he's very chill. He don't really say much, but he just go out there and do his actions. So like I say, I could speak to him before the game. He'll say stuff back, but I just like to leave people alone and just let them do what they do.
You're good. Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all right. Yeah, we got 5 and a 6 man, right? Or 6 woman. No problem.
We just talked to Mike McDaniel and asked him about Jalen Moore and his personality. How would you describe your rookie teammate?
I think Jalen's one. He's a great guy. First off, personality-wise, he's a great guy. Fits in great with the group, and he works his tail off. He's done a great job of absorbing a lot of information, a lot of coaching, a lot of what it takes to be great at football. He's been working closely with Trent over on the left side all season. I personally believe we have one of the best developers of O-linemen in the league, and Chris Furster and his staff with Butch Berry and Zach Yenzer. Jalen's done a great job for us thus far, and you can see the improvement that he's made the whole time he's been here, from the first day in OTAs until now. And if that is the case, Jalen will be ready to play football.
You get to see more of Aaron Banks than we do, and obviously you're familiar with him from your college days. So how much improvement has he made from point A to point B, and where do you think he still has to grow?
Well, I think he's been, improving every day. I think he's done a great job with that. I think Aaron just continues to need to improve his consistency, just like we all do. And the thing with him is that he came into a situation where we have a lot of guys that have played a lot of football and have done a lot of great things for this football team. And so it was an uphill battle for Aaron the whole way through, even when he was drafted high. So he's done a great job of steady improvement every day. But yeah, it's the technique work. It's the putting it into situational football, when to take your chances technique wise, when to play it safer, when to have a little bit more control of your body and stuff like that. And it'll come. He's gonna, it's a huge adjustment to come in and play offensive line as a rookie in the NFL. I think it's probably one of the biggest physical jumps that you could see from the college level to the NFL is our position, and he's been doing well with that. He's just got to continue to grind at it.
Obviously, one thing that you've really excelled at is getting out in the space for that run blocking. You came from Notre Dame system, where I know you guys ran some outside zone, but probably not as much as here. For a big guy like Aaron, how much of a challenge is it physically to be ready to do what you've done, to be able to get out in space in this system?
Well, I don't think it's not something that he can't do. Aaron's got it in him. It's very technically complicated to do what we do up front, and it's why you don't see a lot of teams in the NFL taking chances the way that we do in the run game. It's why it requires a lot of the 5 of us. You have to be able to move your feet with timing and precision and aggressiveness, downhill and on a wide track all at the same time. And so it's a very technically demanding system that we have for offensive linemen in the run game. And it takes an adjustment for sure. And Aaron's on his way there, and he's done a great job with that. And like I said, he's got it in him. It's just going to take some time. And fortunately for Aaron, he's got time because of the guys that we have in our room.
Last game, early in the game, you got run into from behind. Looked like your ankle got trapped behind you. Did that impact how the rest of the game unfolded for you? And then how much are you looking forward just to getting back out there this one?
No, I'm not going to sit there and blame my mistakes on a twisted ankle from the first quarter. It didn't have any effect on me in the game. I didn't play well enough. I had run in with the same. It kind of was the same block, 4, 5, 6 different times that I just didn't get done. I approached it differently each time, and instead of trusting what I saw on film, and that's something that I can learn from and move on. But yeah, excited to get it going. Excited to get to play against a great Indianapolis team at home on Sunday night, and that's what you live for as a football player, is to be in prime time when the whole world's watching you. So it's going to be exciting for us to get back, get on the right track, and get back to doing what we do.
After the Seattle game, Jimmy, when he got hurt, he was kind of emotional with us. He's obviously been through a lot of ups and downs. How have you seen him kind of handle this experience that you guys are kind of dealing with this year, with having another quarterback in and all that?
Like in the whole year or these last couple of weeks?
Yeah, this is part of it.
I think, especially these last couple of weeks, Jimmy's done a great job. I think he was a little nervous after the game when he was emotional that it was going to be a little worse than it was. I think once he found that relief, he was back to being his normal self. But he's handled everything with tremendous humility and grace, and as great of a teammate could. And I don't think anybody could have handled it better from the outward perception of what goes on in our building and all the negative things that are thrown at him, and then what had transpired in the spring. That's a tough situation. It's a really hard thing to deal with, especially to try and compete. And when you're in that position as a quarterback, you're the leader of the team. And how do you go about leading when all this is going against you? And he's figured out a way to do it and do it tremendously. And that's why you tip your cap, and you're just so excited to play with a guy like that, because he's the perfect example of what to look at in terms of mental toughness and blocking out the noise and being a professional that you could ever find in this league. And I don't think anybody could have handled it better. And these last couple of weeks, he's just continued to do the same thing he's always done.
Your mental approach that you worked on during the off season. Speaking about that, how is that? You're 5 games in now. How has that helped you prepare for the rest of the season?
Well, I think it's helped me a lot. I think I'm doing things that as well as I've done them and as consistently as I've done them throughout my career. And I took a couple lumps against Arizona, but the bye week allows you to do a 5-week reflection and not just a 1-week sour taste in your mouth. And I'm doing good things, and mentally I feel great. I can handle the mistake better. I can move on. I can learn from it. I can take it for what it is and not feel like the sky is falling on me after a couple bad reps. And it's something that I worked tremendously hard on, and it's something that's made me a better player for it, because part of this league and part of playing offensive line is learning how to get beat and moving forward with the because at the end of the day, what happened to me on the last play or the last game, if I let it affect me for the next one or the next game, then it's just going to continue to get worse. And the only way you can play is with a clear head and with a present focus, and it's worked so well. It's worked well for me so far.
You got some Quentin Nelson questions from NFL teams heading into the 18 draft. Was there a favorite anecdote or a story that you told teams that year about him?
Well, I think everybody remembers that famous play against Georgia where he we switched off a blitz that came from the opposite field, and he didn't get to the nose guard, which is what you're really supposed to do. It's kind of like a full pushback of the protection, and instead just comes across the entire line to decapitate a safety from Georgia. That was probably one of the coolest plays I've ever seen from an offensive lineman standpoint at the college level. But the only thing I can say about Q is that he deserves every single bit of what he gets. He not only is he super talented and one of the more gifted and talented players in the NFL, especially at the guard position, but he is a grinder, and he loves playing football. He loves being a teammate. He loves the day-to-day aspects of being a professional, and he's been that way since we were in college. I hope that I've rubbed off on him the same way that he did with me. He's a tremendous competitor, and it bothers him when things go wrong, and that's why he is the way that he is. He's been a tremendous player from the time he started at Notre Dame, and has only continued to get better. And proud of him for what he's been able to do, and not too proud of him this week though. We got to try and kick his ass. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
No, this is the All Stars, man. This is a good crew.
It's been kind of tough to. One game seems to be really good, and then another game not as good. Just with the run game, obviously that you guys talked about, that kind of begins there. How would you assess, what you guys did in the first 5 games overall with the running?
Yeah, I think you make a good point. There's definitely been some ups and there's been some downs, and we've struggled to find some consistency. And it's tough to point to just one thing of why that is. But I do think it's a combination of things, and we've had a lot of different guys in the backfield who have had to shoulder the load each and every game. So it's been a little tough for guys to get some momentum and start to figure it out. And you can't forget that we got 2 rookies and Hasty, who was a second-year guy that was on P Squad a lot for last year. So these guys are going to continue to learn, continue to get better, continue to understand this system and grow.
The big explosive runs seem like they haven't been there as much.
Yeah.
How much has that been an issue, just in terms of not only keeping you guys on the field, but maybe not giving the offense what it needs to?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's kind of what defines this league and what makes really great offenses is when you see these explosive plays. It's tough in this league to go up and down the field 10, 12 play drives and consistently do that and go score touchdowns. So I do think that's a big difference and something that we've actually stressed this week is those explosives. And it definitely hurts not having like Raheem out there, who's the king of explosive runs. But I do think that we have it in these young backs, and I think they're gonna figure out what they need to do to kind of make that stuff happen.
On tape, have you been close? Like, have you seen?
Yeah, we've definitely been close. Definitely. A lot of times it comes down to one guy getting a block here, or the back taking a different angle. Whatever it is, it's definitely been close, and we feel like we're ready to pop some.
Responsibilities, you've had a lot more with the rookies back there. How are you excited when you get more responsibilities, more jobs to do on the field, or is it just sometimes you're like, okay, I've got a lot on my plate?
No, honestly, I get so excited, and that's something they're always, coaches are always checking in. Is this too much on your plate, Juice? Like, let us know, and I'll never give them the satisfaction of saying that it's too much. I refuse to, even if it is. Don't tell them that. But I really do. I enjoy that stuff so much, in being asked to play so many different roles. Being asked to, just put things on my shoulders and that, take things off other guys' shoulders, whether that's just in a play call, not having to tag me in what I need to do, or me being able to step in at halfback or tight end and, give those guys a blow so they can focus on things that they're better at. I absolutely love that kind of stuff. So the more the better.
Here, you kind of were given the opportunity, you were thankful for it. Was that kind of a natural progression into actually what kind of ended up happening this season?
Yes and no. I think injuries have been a big part of it. We spoke about a lot. The running backs have been down, so that's definitely opened up some opportunities for me. I think we've expanded some of the things that I've done on the line of scrimmage. And I think I had some success in our first game, and that was able to give us something to kind of evolve on. And I've done all this stuff in my career. A lot of it was back when I was with Baltimore, or maybe just the first couple of years I was here. It just kind of comes in and out, whether I'm in there on third downs in 2 minutes and that kind of stuff. And I feel like that's where people really notice that, oh my God, Juice is out there way more, because it's always in those critical situations on third downs in 2 minutes. And, I love that stuff.
When it comes to doing the lead blocking, how much of an assignment is it be for you going against Darius Leonard?
It's going to be a great matchup. Obviously he's one of the top linebackers in the league. Very aggressive, very good at just getting to the ball. He just seems to have, a natural instinct to find the ball. And he does a great job of getting the ball out as well. So looking forward to the matchup. I always love to be able to compare myself against the best in the league, and I feel like I get to do that every day with Fred, but it's always better when it's somebody in a different uniform.
Last time you guys had a practice with the rain?
It's been a few years. I do remember maybe there was one in 19 that we were in rain, but we've been lucky enough that we live in a place we don't get too much.
Is it supposed to rain tomorrow? Yeah, okay. You ready for it?
Say that again?
You'll be ready for it on Sunday?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know what? I really I don't feel like it changes. At least for me, I don't feel like it changes too much in how I approach the game. If anything, you just have to be even more confident in your steps, in your hands, your hand placement, all that kind of stuff. You're just exaggerating techniques that you're already doing your best to exaggerate in the first place. You're just taking it to the next level.
You know of another fullback that's consistently served as a third down back?
As a third, well, I remember John Kuhn doing it a lot in Green Bay early in my career. As of right now, I don't see too much of it. Pat DeMarco did a lot of it with Kyle, their Super Bowl run. But other than that, I don't remember, or I don't know if too many fullbacks have done third downs.
You're an exclusive company.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Thanks, Shoes.
Yep. See you guys.
Good, how are you?
What do you look at the Colts? What really jumps out at you?
Definitely run game. All around, good blocking, good O-line, good tight ends. And then a quarterback who just is really tough to bring down, and it's definitely going to be a group effort to get him down.
You bring up the run game and the run defense. You're obviously in there a lot on those plays. How much pride do you take in your run defense, and is that an underrated aspect that people don't really know about you?
Yeah, I mean, I love the run game because it just gets me going in the game, and if it runs away from me the whole first quarter, I kind of get I just get antsy and feel like I'm not part of the game. So I like when I'm involved in the run game and taking on blocks and turnouts and being physical, because I think me and Eric are probably the best edge setters in the game. So yeah, definitely take pride in that.
What about Joey Bosa? Is he behind you?
He plays a very different scheme now, so he's not really firing off like we do. So I definitely got him there.
You watch Ravens Chargers?
Say again?
You watch Ravens Chargers?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. How did you spend your bye?
I just hung out for the whole week, trained, and then went to nap on Saturday.
After you guys traded DeForest, you were pretty open about, how important he was to what you guys do. Without him, how much do you notice his lack of presence, maybe in terms of some of the extra attention you've talked about that you get, or whatever it might be?
I don't know. I feel like we have a lot of guys that draw attention still, so I don't know if it's a huge drop off. I think the drop off is his leadership, and I think me, Eric, and D have taken that role and tried to keep that going. But he was definitely a really good leader, and then obviously the running to the ball at his size was pretty unbelievable. And now we have guys that are trying to definitely reach that aspect. Just running sideline to sideline as a D tackle, it's tough to do.
Watching film, you obviously watch more of the offense to know what you're going to do, but have you peeped out what the Force has done this season?
I haven't watched much of their defense this year. I saw a couple clips that Kyle showed, and obviously Buck's jump swim was on there. And yeah, I mean, even if Buck's not filling the stat sheet, he's affecting games in a huge way with just taking on double teams and like I said, running to the ball like a madman.
Did he get taken off the defensive line text thread now?
Did
he get taken off the defensive
We
line?
still have that year's, but he's not on this one, obviously.
E-Man was just in here saying that you guys have a handshake.
Me and E-Man, we do.
How did that
It's
start?
not that intricate, but it's I don't know. I think we started it in obviously 19, and yeah. I mean, I always see the DBs and linebackers doing one, so I try to get at least one with somebody.
A couple of your teammates say do right longer, which I think comes from Kyle, who got it somewhere else. What does do right longer mean to you?
Just keep focus, not get too up and too down. Yeah, just stick with it and not let up the whole game, because things could change quick.
You're breaking down film of your opposing team, your next opponent. How closely are you watching exactly all the little details of what they do? How much does it affect what you plan for in a game?
In our defense, I feel like looking at too much kind of clouds your mind, and I think the way we play, it really doesn't matter what's going on in front of you most of the time. It's just getting off on your aiming point and knowing what to do when you get a certain block or whatever, and I think that's what makes this scheme really good for me and our guys. And when it comes to the pass rush game, obviously you want to look at specific things that the tackle does, but overall, I mean, you could find a few tips, but getting overly studying overboard is not always a bonus for us.
That's where your instincts come in, Nick.
Definitely, yeah, and just the repetition.
Gotten to know him in any way, but if so, what is your read on Josh Norman and his personality?
I've loved him. Yeah, like especially loved him. Like he's been hilarious and just a really good dude. Yeah, I mean, he's similar to how Sherm was. Like, I had a certain thought of what he was going to be like, and then he changed my mind when I met him. And then same thing with Josh. He's just a really cool guy and, yeah, really funny. Goofball.
You're not the first person that called him funny or hilarious or whatever. Is there an example that pops to mind you can share?
There is, but I can't share.
All right, guys.
Thank you.